Well, good evening, everybody, and happy Thursday. Hope you all are enjoying the warm weather we've been experiencing the last, couple days. I know I have been out getting a bunch of projects done around the house, just trying to take advantage of this nice spring weather. But yeah, let's dive on in. We got some big changes coming this weekend and actually into next week. So I want to give you guys an update on that before you make any weekend plans. So let's go on and start. Right now, we're looking at the satellite imagery. This again is the outline of Montana, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, Wyoming. And you can see this big Pacific front's finally starting to push in. It's been spinning off the coast here for the last day or so, creating some thunderstorms. They're actually predicting some hail here in the Willamette Valley, but never really came through. But as you can see, it's starting to push through and actually creating quite a bit of dust here in Nevada, which is always really interesting. I know it's not related to Montana, but just really cool to see that actually picks up here on the satellite imagery. All this right here, that's all dust storm that's blowing out of Nevada. Another cool part here on the satellite imagery is you can see the thunderstorms really starting to pop up over Kansas and looks like southern Colorado. I'd love to see what the radar looks like. But back in Montana, we got the front starting to push through. This itself is creating some thunderstorms and some rain, and also some really gusty winds. On my drive home from work today, it was blowing me all over the interstate. So really strong winds coming through with some rain starting to push. Let's take a look at the radar. As you can see, here are some of the thunderstorms and a little bit stronger thunderstorms here on the eastern plains. I believe this is right above Miles City. Yep, Miles City here. So we're looking out towards that circle area, Jordan, out on the plains. We're going to be starting to see some stronger thunderstorms. So heads up in that area. Again, up on the northeast corner, we're seeing some rain showers and a few other thunderstorms scattered kind of throughout Montana at the moment, but heaviest seem to be just north of that Miles City area and then to the northeast corner above Glasgow. But yeah, nothing too crazy. It's mainly wind and then these thunderstorms, but that's going to change, I think, throughout the day. Tomorrow, as we start getting to Friday night, that's when we're really going to start to see some changes. So, looking again, here is a map of Montana with the the road webcams. So it's going to give us our temperatures, but I also like to look at this one because it gives a good kind of scope on where everything is and where the rain is falling. And then I also like to see, like we were talking about last video, just how hard some of this rain is actually coming down if we can actually get one in the camera. Looks like nothing in Rock Springs that we could see. You can see it off in the distance, actually, some of that rain there. Let's look a little farther east, see if we can't see that. Still very warm on the plains, like 73 degrees here just south of Circle. Just east of Miles City, that's 81 degrees at the Sweeney Creek webcam. Again, can't see the rain I was hoping to, but there's those stronger showers. Let's look up here in that northeast corner. Looks like the rain's coming in the picture, but it doesn't look like it's raining very hard if it is at all or if it was. So light rain just kind of throughout the region. All right, so let's look at the daily temperatures here. We'll just kind of pick some random spots. I'll start in Bozeman because that's where I'm at. Today we hit 70, record value 74, so we are right in that ball range, real close. Again, we are losing a little bit of moisture for the month of date now after the last week or so of dry weather, but that's going to change here, so I'm not too concerned about that. I just kind of wanted to see what the temperatures are. Let's see what the winds were as well. I'm always a little lost on the winds. There it is. Sorry, just got to scroll down a little farther. Highest wind speed is 30, but 40-mile-an-hour gusts were recorded at the airport. Great Falls, you guys hit 69 degrees. Record was 74. And looks like wind, 34-mile-an-hour gusts. So for Great Falls, that's nothing for you guys. Havre, let's see, temperature only got to 60 today, so just a nice day. And it does not look like, oh, there's a report. 28 mile per hour winds with gusts up to 35. So nothing the Highline can't handle. And this is one more. Let's look at Lewistown. Record right there. 73 degrees. That is tied the record value of warmth for the day. I would curious. Let's see if we can find what yesterday was. 27th, 26. 26. Yeah, you guys only hit 67 yesterday, but today 73, tying that record high for the day. So, Lewistown, you guys were warm. Wind speeds 30 miles an hour, gusts up at 34. So, not the craziest winds you guys could have out there on the prairie. Let's take a look out on the eastern plains. Billings, you guys hit a record today, 79 degrees, 8 degrees. That's crazy for end of March. Record value is 77. Your guys' wind speed 25 with gusts up to 35. So not too bad. Let's see Miles City. I bet you guys were real warm. Yeah, 82 degrees, tying the record. That just blows my mind. For end of March, we're hitting 82 degrees already in Miles City. So crazy stuff. And you guys are having real light winds. So it's got to be amazing out there in Miles City. I would love to be out there working and seeing what you guys are seeing for temps. All right, western side of the state. Missoula, 71 degrees, real close to that record value, 74. Wind speeds today, 20 to 23, so not bad. Kalispell, 67 degrees. And your wind speeds are at 17 with gusts at 22. So a nice day. Nothing crazy. One more. Let's look at Butte. 62 degrees for Butte. Real warm day for you guys. 23 with gusts up to 33. So breezy day. Nothing too crazy. And then the northeast corner. So I wanted to go to this landing page here on National Weather Service for you guys because their illustration really paints a good picture of what to expect in that northeast corner tonight through Friday. It's just a light ice accumulations. We'll kind of go over that more here in a little bit, but something to be aware of. I really like these graphics the National Weather Service puts out. They're the experts. This is what they do. So, be prepared, especially if you have your cabin right now. We're going to be doing any driving in this area. We could see some ice accumulations on the road. So watch for that. And then let's take a look at what you guys were at for temperatures today. Just the one, which is Glasgow. Today, a lot cooler, 40 degrees. So that's just a big swing in temperatures. Let's see what you guys were yesterday. 60 degrees. So a 20 degree difference in temperatures. Your winds today were at, did they not report winds here? I might be blind, guys. Huh. Yeah, I don't see a wind reporting at the airport there in Glasgow. So if you guys could drop a comment if you're up in that Glasgow area, I'd love to hear, what kind of winds you guys were looking at. Long-term picture, we're going to be looking at the drought monitor here. So as you can see, a large portion of the state still in drought or abnormally dry, but this is a big improvement from what we were seeing. So the central portion of the state, you guys are looking good. But let's just go back. I like to look at these comparison sliders. We'll compare two different time frames. So on the right, it's going to be this one that they just released. And then on the left, let's just even look from last period that they did. So again, right is from this period, left is last period. And as you can see, the western portion of the state has gotten a little bit better just in this last week alone, just basing it off the snowpack that we've been getting. But let's just look here. Change this back. Let's just look back, start of the year, January 7th versus now, March 25th, and how much the drought has changed here in the state. So as you can see, basically the whole entire state covered in drought. This middle section was abnormally dry. The only part was that far northwestern corner. And then if you grab the slider, look at the difference that we've been seeing. It's just a huge swath of land that has gotten better just from this winter alone. So hoping for a better spring. We can kind of help out in this northeastern corner and southeastern corner. And then again over the west, as the snow starts to melt and starts to get in your soil, we should start to see some improvements there. So from the warmth, I wanted to show you guys soil temperature. So we're looking at a 4-inch soil temperature map here across the whole country. Montana here is your outline. But I just wanted to show you guys what these warm temperatures have done to the soil. If you guys have noticed, your grass is starting to green up a little bit more. I got tulips going in my garden bed now. So the spring is really starting to sprung. But you don't want to get ahead of yourselves because watch as it changes through this weekend. So we had soil temperatures here out of Miles 60. Miles City at about 65 degrees, 56 degrees, 59 degrees. Typically we're seeing these in April and start of May. Those are when you start to see these type of soil temperatures. So, if you're thinking about gardening, if you're, thinking about getting out in the field and planting, let's just pump the brakes a little bit. It's still Montana. We're end of March. We don't want to get too far down the road and ruin our plantings or ruin our garden beds or anything like that. But it's just kind of crazy to see what our soil temperature doing and why you're seeing your grass green up end of March already in Montana. But watch as it changes as we start to get into the weekend. You start to see this is kind of what we call your frost line. This is your freezing line of temperatures. Creeps down out of Canada. It's really going to start pushing down through. So let's look at Monday, Tuesday. We went from 65 degree temperatures in Miles City on our soil to 35 degrees. So, big changes coming. This is why we always say pump your brake, read your zones if you're gardening. You don't want to get ahead of yourselves here. Even though it's nice and warm, it's beautiful, you want to start planting, you want to go, 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 go. Pump the brakes. It's Montana. We're going to be getting cold. So, as you can see here, soil temperatures really start to dive off. We are going to be getting a little bit of breaks this next week, but we won't really go past much of Thursday. That's where I'll park it out. But you can see here, if we go back, we got some colder soil temps coming back in, more closer to average. So pump the brakes on gardening and getting things going, and pay attention to your zones that you're in. All right, so I wanted to take a look here at a couple things for you guys. So this is our ocean temperatures. And the bluers are going to be below average for that area. The warmers are going to be above average. So as you guys can see, here is the equator. It's going to be somewhere right in here. And we have a large swath in the Pacific Meridian. This is what they call it, the Pacific Meridian zone, of cooler weather and cooler water. And this is your area that generates all your precipitation. As the water heats up, it forms clouds. The rotation of the Earth spins it around, catches the jet stream as the jet stream is moving with the Earth axis, and then brings it over here to us here in North America. So in the colder water conditions, we want to watch out for here in the central and eastern portions of the state. If this really starts to build in with colder water, it's going to set up for more of drought conditions in the summer. So as we start getting into spring, we'll watch this for anybody that's going to be growing. I would say the eastern portion of the states, getting into the Dakotas, things like that. Cold water here equals warm here. It's going to build a trough as it dips down. Ridge, trough, ridge, turns into a triple ridge, which drives drought into the middle section of the country. But if this also does go over cold, what's going to happen is the Pacific Northwest is going to have cooler summer, possibly less smoke in the air, and that goes for western Montana as well. So something to watch for, and it's something I'll keep updating you guys on as time goes on. I also wanted to show you guys the trends of La Nina going into El Nino neutral phase. Back in January, we were pretty solid in the La Nina, but once we hit February, look how fast this shot up. We were already above 0 degrees in the temperatures. And if you guys didn't know, La Nina is colder temperatures here in this equator area. El Nino is warmer, and this is a big factor on showing how drive our weather. So if it's an El Nino, what typically happens is your tropical jet is going to be stronger, so you're going to be driving warm moisture into the south, Southern California, down into Texas, things like that. Will have more precipitation, usually more weather. Whereas when it's La Nina, it really drives the polar jet. So you're going to have more troughing into the west, which is going to bring more snow. That's what we were just saying, more snow into Montana, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, and a big rain maker. So as you guys can see here, we are now starting to get into Enso neutral. So we'll have to watch and see how that plays out and what that's going to do for our summer conditions. All right, game plan for the weekend. This is valid for tonight starting at 7 o'clock. As you can see, that moisture really pushing into the Pacific Northwest. And as we plan it out, just light showers, especially over the eastern. This is where they're saying that chance for ice is in the northeast, so something to watch out for. We'll have light showers throughout the day, And then starting Friday, that system really starts to push in. We'll have snow over most of Montana, western and central portions. Going all the way through Sunday and just kind of continues, especially the southwestern corner. We're going to be getting a lot of snow. Great for the mountains. We need to continue our snowpack and kind of get that going again, and hold that moisture as long as possible going into summer. So good to see. It's going to be a little bit annoying. It's going to be a lot of rain and slush, stuff like that that'll be coming in. But it's March. We went over it and talked about it before. It's March in Montana. We're going to get snow. We're going to get rain. It just is what it is, but it's really good for our health of our ecosystem. So it's really great to see. Pushing on into Monday, we'll have a little bit of a break. But then Monday night into Tuesday, we'll have more showers and snow showers starting to build up. And this is something to watch out for here on Tuesday. A lot of times these lows will push across the mountains and they'll wrap up and curl. So they'll dump a lot of times snow onto the backside. So this northeastern corner, midweek next week, we'll have to watch out for maybe some snow starting to dump into there. But as of right now, the models are wanting to keep that just in the North Dakota. Intermountain West, down in the southwestern corner, we're again getting more snow. So good to build that snowpack for our rivers. And then we'll have a little bit of break, and then we'll have a little bit more northwest flow. So if you guys have noticed, northwest flow typically is not a huge, snow and rain maker. When we do get that, that's only in the heart of summer. So we're talking July into August. If it's northwest flow, we get thunderstorms that'll pop out into this area. But northwest flow in any other month or months is dry. So something to pay attention to. It's going to bring some light, snow and rain showers, but nothing too heavy with a northwest flow, and especially going out into Friday, Saturday. That's a week out in time frame, so it's kind of hard to predict what we would be doing next weekend, but I really wanted to show you guys for this weekend. We will be getting into snow. Again, that's starting Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. Snow off and on in Intermountain West. Looking at the totals of what we'll be seeing. And this is good, healthy rain. Anything in the blue is really what we want to see, bringing in a good moisture to the soil, good snowpack in the mountains. Let's park this out to Thursday at 7. So 1 week out. Good rains over most of Montana. I mean, even Glasgow, it's saying you're going to get closer to a ½ inch of rain. Miles City a little bit less, but majority of Montana, we're going to be seeing good moisture. Sucks it's over a weekend. We can't enjoy this nice weather as much as we possibly could, but we do need this and keep good weather and water moisture coming in for you guys. All right, so pause this real quick and go back. So this is what our 500 millibar height anomaly is going to be looking like. As you can see, that trough is starting to dig in and push that ridge of the 70-degree weather we've been seeing out of Montana. And you can see the low here starting to push into Four Corners. So this is why the southwestern corner of the state's getting the most moisture. Is that low kind of kicks and goes out into the Four Corner states and will eject out into the plains. You can see it right here. That's that same low that started way out here. It'll wrap around and get kicked out, driving in snow into the southwestern portion of the state. Then again, we'll have more lows starting to enter in Monday and kick through. So it does look like this bigger, deeper low on Tuesday, Wednesday coming into Montana. So temperatures, newborn calves, you got to watch that kind of stuff this time of year still. Park it out Thursday, another trough bringing in just more rainmakers. But park it out Thursday, Friday, and that's what you kind of expect. But this is something I want to watch, is this high pressure, and see if this starts to shift off the coast and bring in some more mild temperatures again, starting the week of April 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, somewhere in there. We'll see if that starts to build in, which the models are so far hinting at doing. If this happens, we're looking again 70, 80 degree heat. That April 6th, 7th, somewhere in that time frame, 8th. So I don't put a lot of stock into this right now. It's ways out on the forecast models, but something to keep in mind is not this weekend. This weekend we're dealing with that snow and rain. Following weekend, we could be seeing back to this above normal temperatures. So something to keep an eye on. And that is it. That's all I got for you guys. Again, if you guys have anything in particular you guys want me to go over, a certain portion of the states, something that you're looking for, let me know and we'll be sure to cover it. Thanks.